Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Krystal if you're new here. So today I'm going to be talking about my favorite blush brushes. I have a lot to show you guys, but I'm going to categorize them by shape because a lot of them are very similar in shape, but they have different handles or from different brands. They probably are different prices. I'm not going to give you prices in this video, but I will link each brush down below in case you want to check it out online. So I have a lot of brushes. I love makeup, but I also love makeup brushes. If you saw my collection, maybe I'll insert a clip of all the ones that I have. It's crazy how many brushes that I have, but I just truly love makeup brushes because they're the tools that apply your makeup. I'm always on the hunt for something better. And over the years, I've just collected a lot of brushes. And I actually have some more in the closet that I don't use as often. And I actually did a brush declutter video. Gosh, it's probably been like 6 months or more. I will link that above somewhere in case you guys want to check that out. It was like a whole box of brushes that I just gave to my mom to give away to her or whoever she knows that wanted them. Yeah, I have a lot of brushes. I'm always on the hunt for new ones, and these are the ones that I use the most for blush. Like I said, some of them are very similar, so I'm gonna go ahead and categorize them by shape. I also did a favorite highlighting brushes video. In case you wanna check that one out, I will also link that one above or in the description box somewhere in case you missed that one. So I'm actually doing a series on my channel of my favorite makeup brushes, and I had to break it up by type of brush because I just have too many brushes and the video would just be way too long. So today we're talking about blush brushes, and let's go ahead and get started. The first set of brushes that I'm going to talk about are angled brushes. This one is by BDELLIUM Tools. It's the 962 Slanted Blusher Brush. So all the BDELLIUM Tools golden triangle brushes have this blue handle. They have a triangular shape to them. So I like the angled blush brushes. They're kind of standard. I just feel like they hug the cheek nicely so you can sweep up and down, but they're also nice to stamp on your blush. Like you can just stamp it on like this. Just depending on the blush that I'm using will depend on the method of application. So yeah, this one's nice and soft. It's synthetic and it has enough fluff to it, which I like. It's not too tiny or too tapered, but it has a nice fluff to it and it's very soft. So I like this one. This one's really nice from BDELLIUM Tools. Another one that I like is from Morphe. This is the E4 brush. So this is their older version of the Elite Collection brushes, which are the E brushes. So the newer ones, I believe, still have the black handle, but the bristles have a little bit more red in them. So it's very similar to the BDELLIUM Tools one. It's probably about the same size. Has a nice fluff to it. Again, it hugs the cheekbone. It's also nice for stamping on blush if you like to apply your blush that way. So again, this is the E4. Another one they have from Morphe that's pretty much the same brush, same bristles and everything, same shape, is the Morphe Y4. So this one just is part of their I think it's the yellow gold or something collection. It's synthetic, it's soft, again, same shape, same purpose, like that one. So I really like the way these gold ones look. They're aesthetically pleasing to the eye, but they are rounded and flat at the bottom. They're just chunkier down here, so you can't fit as many brushes like in a brush holder when they're shaped like that versus when they're skinnier towards the bottom. So just keep that in mind with that one, but it's probably cheaper than the E4, I'm assuming. So another brush is the 127 Luxe Sheer Cheek brush. This one right here is from Zoeva, and I love Zoeva brushes. They have a mix of natural and synthetic hairs, and I just think they have a lot of unique brushes, especially eye brushes. I really, really love their eye brushes, so once we get to that part of the series, then you'll see which ones are my favorite. But again, just a standard kind of angled brush. It's soft, it's angled, it's nice. I love this one. Handle is shorter on the Zoeva one versus like the Morphe one if you want a little comparison there. I have another one here from BDELLIUM Tools. It's actually the same brush as this one here, the 962. So these are the same brushes essentially, but they're from different lines from BDELLIUM Tools. So this one here is the golden triangle. It's all synthetic. This one is from their original line, which I believe is their pro line. I'm not 100% sure what that line is called. But again, I will link the brushes down below. So the regular line has the yellow handles on it, and the hairs are not synthetic. When you actually look at them side by side, the yellow one actually looks a little bit bigger. It's a little bit more fluffed out. This one is also nice. It's an angled blush brush. So this one is not synthetic hair, so I feel like this one picks up blushes that are pressed harder in the pan better. I do find that with non-synthetic brushes, that is the case. When they're not synthetic, they're natural hair, they just tend to pick up the blush easier and they pick up more. So if you have a blush that's pressed really hard in the pan, these types of brushes tend to pick up the product better, whereas synthetic ones, sometimes they won't pick up as much product. So sometimes they work really well with blushes that are not as densely packed. They're a little bit looser. All right, so the next set of brushes that I want to talk about are shaped like this. I don't know what you would call this, just kind of fluffy, just a fluffy brush. So this one right here is the Chique blush brush, and this is from Royal and Langnickel. And this is a newer brush to my collection. I love the rose gold handles, similar to the Morphe one where it's a little bit chunkier though and squared off or rounded off at the bottom. But it's a little bit actually skinnier than the Morphe one, if you want to see a little comparison there. So it does fit better in like packed in with other blushes in a little container just because it's not quite as thick. So this brush is super affordable. The Chique line from Royal and Langnickel is very affordable. This brush might be like $6, maybe $4. I don't know. I know it's very affordable. And I really like this one because it's fluffy. It's not too dense. And it's very soft, it's synthetic. So I really like fluffy brushes like this, especially if I have a blush that's very, very pigmented and I don't want to apply too much product. This is not too dense where it picks up too much product, plus it's synthetic. So it's extremely soft. I really like the shape of it, and it just really diffuses the blush onto the cheeks very, very nicely and doesn't apply too much. You can go in very light-handed with this blush brush, which is what I like. Then I have another one here that's pretty similar. So this is the Chique powder brush. This actually came in a face kit, so that's why it has a shorter handle. It's like a travel face kit, and it has a similar shape. It is a little bit more dense, but I like to use this for bronzer and blush, but again, it's just really nice to diffuse the blush onto the cheeks. Since this one is a little bit more dense, I do have to go in a little bit lighter handed, especially if the blush is super pigmented or very like finely milled where it picks up a lot of product. So I like this one as well. Next one here is from Zoeva. It's the 126 Luxe Cheek Finish Brush. And so the Zoeva ones have shorter handles. I wish they were a little bit longer. I actually prefer brushes that have longer handles, but it's the same concept. It's a fluffed out brush. It is soft. Again, the Zoeva brushes are a mix of synthetic and natural hair, depending on which brush. There are some of the brushes that they carry in the line that are all synthetic, but most of the ones that I have are a mixture. So it's very similar to the last two that I showed. It just applies the blush and buffs it out very nicely. If you have one that's super pigmented, just be very light-handed with this just because it is a little bit more dense than this one here. This one's a lot more loosely packed. But again, I like these types of brushes. In that kind of round category of blush brushes, this is the last one in that category. So this one is the Royal and Langnickel Omnia Highlighter brush. I do not use this for highlighter at all. I only use this for blush, and I love it. So one of my all-time favorite blush brushes is the Morphe M500, which is no longer available. I purchased this, gosh, probably 4 years ago, and they don't carry it anymore. And I love this so much because it's small and precise. It's fluffy. It's my favorite for blush. I love it, but I can never find anything similar to this brush, and I'm so sad that they discontinued it. I think the Morphe M500 that they now carry is black and it has longer bristles. I don't know where that brush is. I can't find it, but that's why I love this one so much, because it's very similar to that Morphe one. And let me give you a little side by side. So you can see, like the Morphe one, it has a little bit more of a taper towards the top, but not much. They're both very fluffy and small, and I just love it because it's so precise and it's just so loose and flexible that it just does not apply too much blush, ever. Even if you use a very, very pigmented blush, it will give you the lightest application possible. Like, it's just amazing. I absolutely love this. So I recently did a tutorial using the Stellasi Barbados blush palette. This is intended for people with a darker skin tone, but I wanted to use it, and I used the middle shade right up on the top there. I feel like I want to do it again. Actually, I'm going to take a little bit of this one. So I'm going to pick up a little bit of the product. I still tap off my brush, and you will see it just gives the lightest application. Do you see that? Lightest application. So this is the best kind of brush if you want the lightest application. Like, don't get me wrong, that color is still very vibrant, so you can definitely see it, but it did not apply it too much, you know what I'm saying? This is one of my absolute favorites. Like, I go to this all the time. So this one's great, and it's natural hair, it's very soft, nice and fluffy. I just love it. I love it. Love it, love it, love it. And then I have this one here from Royal and Langnickel. This is the Omnia Powder brush. So I actually use a lot of these brushes differently than they're intended for or labeled for. So I love the Omnia brushes from Royal and Langnickel. They're natural hair, they're super, super soft. And I really like the handles on them. I like that they're gold and they're really long and they're slim towards the bottom. So I really love the aesthetic of these brushes and the way they feel, the way they blend product. I actually did purchase these myself. So this is the powder brush, but I really like this for bronzer and blush. I know we're doing blush in this video, but I like it for bronzer as well. So this one's just nice. It's a little bit bigger, so if you like a bigger brush, this one's nice to diffuse out the product, but it's just so soft and it is dense, but not too dense. You know what I mean? It still has a nice give to it. It has a lot of fluff to it. So I really love this one for bronzer and blush. And then the other one that is intended for blush is the domed blush brush. And this one's a little bit smaller, shorter bristles, a little bit more densely packed. So this one's good for blushes that are really hard pressed in the pan, just because it is a denser brush and it's gonna pick up more product and deposit more product. So if you have one that's hard to pick up in the pan, then this is a good one for that. And you could just do light circular motions to apply the blush with this particular type of blush brush, because it's not very like fluffy and loose. It's not very loosely packed, but it still does have some give to it, which is nice. So I like that one. A new one that I discovered here is from Wet n Wild. It's the P70 brush. This one is just very rounded, it's very soft, it's synthetic. So I like that the handle's long and slim. It's a little bit more dense, but it does have some good movement to it. This one I like for something that's a little bit harder pressed in the pan, just because it is a little bit more dense. It's not quite as fluffy as some of the other ones that I showed. But again, I just like to use these type to kind of go in circular motion and buff the blush in. So this one's nice and it's super affordable. The last set of brushes that I have here are tulip shaped blush brushes. So the first one is the Morphe E3. And I purchased all these Morphe brushes myself. I'm not an affiliate, I don't have a coupon code. I just truly love some of their brushes. They have a lot of different ones, and the Elite Collection ones are some of my favorites. So this is, again, the E3 from the Elite Collection. It's the older version. The newer one has more red in the bristles. So I really love these tulip brushes. I feel like they have multi-purposes. They're good for bronzing and contouring and blush and powder. So they just have a lot of functionality to them. These are just nice because you can just lightly dust some blush onto your cheekbone like this, just because it has that nice kind of taper towards the top there. This is synthetic, it's extremely soft, love it. And then they also have the Morphe E3 and Y1. These are pretty similar, one's just bigger than the other. This one's a little bit smaller, which is the Y3. Again, these are pretty much the same thing as the Elite Collection brush in E3, but these are part of that yellow gold collection. So again, they're synthetic, they have the same shape. This one's a little bit smaller than this one, but same purpose. I like these. So the next brush here is from OFRA. This was actually passed down to me from a friend who used to do videos on YouTube, but she became a minimalist, and I don't think she's posted a video in a really long time. So this is the OFRA Professional Makeup Brush number 22. Again, it's just a tulip brush. And I actually checked their website to see if this was still available, and it is. But again, I like this. I don't think it's synthetic. I feel like it's real hair. I'm not 100% sure on that, but it's a little bit fluffier than some of the others. And it's just nice to get a light dusting of blush, maybe a quick application of blush. So a few other ones that I have here, these are the last three. So this is the BDELLIUM Tools 941 Tapered Highlighting Brush. So this one is nice for dusting powder under the eyes, but it also really works great for blush because it's long and tapered, but it has a lot of flexibility to it. It's synthetic, so it's very, very soft. But this just grazes the cheeks very softly, gets a light application. So I really like this one. These next two are very similar. This is the Luxe 640 Pro Precision Tapered Blush. This I think I got in a BoxyCharm box. But this one's, you know, similar in shape. It's probably a little bit more fluffy, especially towards the tip there. And so this one is great for getting a light application of blush as well. Like if you're somebody who does not like to wear a lot of blush, the ones that I'm talking about, they give you a light application. Like these last three plus the Royal and Langnickel highlighter brush, these will be your best friends because they won't apply too much. So yeah, this one's synthetic, it's soft, just grazes the cheeks, and it's very nice. And then lastly is the Sigma Spotlight Duster, the F37. So this one's very similar. It's just a nice tulip tapered brush. So all of these work for really great for dusting powder under your eye, but again, they're very nice for blush application. So this one's a little bit denser than the previous two. So I know that was a lot, right? That was a lot of brushes, I know, but I just wanted to give you options because these are the ones I gravitate towards most. I have so many brushes that like I will be on a kick with certain brushes for a while, and then I will switch it up and use some other ones in my collection just because I have so many and I like to kind of just rotate through them. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. Let me know what brush category you guys want next. Do you want foundation brushes? Do you want powder brushes? Do you want eye brushes? Let me know. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. I love you guys. Have a great day. Bye.